My fiancée of 4 years asked to pause our relationship to date her ex-boyfriend. I calmly nodded and wished her a good time. While she was on her date, I sold our house, resigned from my job, and disappeared. This morning, my phone exploded with 72 missed calls. I genuinely believed Emma was the love of my life. We'd spent 4 years together, 3 years living under the same roof, and a full year engaged. Our wedding date was set for October, just 5 months away, and I'd already saved the entire $30,000 budget. To prepare for our future, we bought a 3-bedroom home downtown, costing $7,000 per month, a significant portion of which I covered. Every morning, I woke up exactly 5 minutes before my alarm just to watch her sleep peacefully beside me. Every evening, I took a detour of 6 extra miles after work to pick up the lemon tart she adored. Emma, a charming and outgoing marketing manager at a multinational firm, seemed equally invested. Our families had bonded. Friends frequently remarked that we were the perfect couple. But 2 months ago, something shifted. Emma became indifferent about our wedding plans, repeatedly postponing venue and dress decisions. She started working late almost every night, blaming end-of-quarter deadlines. When I offered to pick her up, she dismissed me casually, claiming coworkers could handle it. And lately, her phone rarely left her side, each notification drawing a quiet, secretive smile. One evening, my close friend Luke approached me hesitantly. "I saw Emma downtown at a bar yesterday," he said softly, avoiding my eyes. "Wasn't she supposed to be at the office?" "Probably a team outing," I replied, forcing confidence I didn't feel. Luke hesitated again, then finally spoke. "She wasn't alone. I'm pretty sure the guy was someone from her Instagram." My heart sank, but outwardly I just smiled. "You must be mistaken. Emma wouldn't do that." But the signs became impossible to ignore. During a weekend barbecue, a friend jokingly asked, "If you could start over, would you choose your current partner or your ex?" Without hesitation, Emma laughed and answered, "Dylan," then immediately caught herself. "Oh, just kidding," she awkwardly added. The silence afterward felt endless. I smiled again, calmly hiding the dagger twisting inside my chest. Back home, I asked casually who Dylan was. "Just a college ex," she stammered nervously. "He works at a client's company now, strictly business." That night, her phone lit up repeatedly while she showered. Unable to resist, I glanced down at the screen. "Last night was amazing. When can I see you again? I miss you already." My heart shattered instantly, but I said nothing. I quietly snapped a photo and placed the phone back exactly as it was. Over the next few weeks, I quietly gathered more evidence: restaurant receipts, hotel charges, even search histories of how to break up gently on her laptop. I felt numb. The woman I'd built my entire future around was casually dismantling it for a past fling. Finally, one night over dinner, Emma prepared my favorite meal, poured 2 glasses of wine, and hesitated before speaking. "I think we should pause our relationship," she began softly, avoiding my gaze. "Dylan moved back, and there's still something between us. I need to see if it's real or not." "So, you want me to wait around?" I asked gently, masking my disbelief. "It's not like that," she insisted, smiling faintly. "Everything else stays the same: our house, our plans. It's just temporary, just until I'm sure." I nodded slowly, calmly meeting her eyes. "I understand. Go figure it out. Have a good time." As she sighed in relief, she never noticed my clenched fists beneath the table. She thought I would wait, patiently suspended in limbo as her backup plan. She was wrong. The moment Emma walked out the door for her date with Dylan, my own plans fell smoothly into motion. Within 24 hours, I'd sold our house, resigned from my stable job, packed my belongings, and erased every digital trace of my existence. Emma wanted a pause, but I gave her permanence. This morning, as I boarded a flight to a new city and a fresh start, my phone vibrated with dozens of frantic messages from mutual friends. Emma's panicking. She woke up to 72 missed calls from the realtor, the bank, and your workplace. What the hell happened? For the first time in weeks, I smiled genuinely. Emma's new reality was just beginning. Mine had already started. I landed in Seattle, a city where nobody knew my name, my past, or the quiet heartbreak I was carefully leaving behind. The new apartment I'd rented online was simple, small, uncluttered, and overlooking busy downtown streets. Standing in that unfamiliar living room, carrying just 2 suitcases, I realized for the first time in 4 years that I had nothing and no one holding me back. It was terrifying and exhilarating all at once. For days, my phone buzzed with messages from mutual friends, family, and even Emma herself. Her frantic voicemails ranged from angry, "How dare you do this?" to pleading, "Please, let's just talk," yet I refused to respond. Each unanswered call was a silent affirmation of my newfound freedom. The first evening in the city, I lay awake, replaying memories of Emma, the sweet way she laughed at my jokes, the gentle hum she made cooking breakfast, and the crushing betrayal of hearing her casually request a relationship pause. I felt a hollow ache deep inside, but alongside it grew a powerful resolve. I would never again let anyone treat me as their backup plan. Monday morning, I walked into my new office, a prominent tech firm that had offered me a salary 40% higher than my previous job. I introduced myself to my new colleagues with quiet confidence, noting their welcoming smiles and genuine curiosity about my past projects. None of them knew about the turmoil I'd escaped. To them, I was simply Mark, the talented new manager from the East Coast. Weeks passed rapidly as I immersed myself in work, proving myself valuable and competent. Yet, even in this fresh start, Emma's shadow lingered in subtle ways, a certain fragrance worn by a colleague, a cafe offering lemon tarts that reminded me of our evenings together. But I stood firm, reminding myself of why I left, each moment reinforcing my decision. Late one evening, nearly a month into my new life, my friend Luke sent a screenshot Emma had posted online, tearfully describing her heartbreak and begging mutual friends to help her reach me. Hundreds of comments sympathized, but even more called her out sharply. You wanted freedom, now live with the consequences. Mark deserves better. Reading their words, I felt strangely validated yet deeply sad. I never wanted revenge, only dignity. I put down my phone and smiled quietly. Emma had asked me to pause, assuming I'd wait for her indefinitely, but life doesn't work that way. Choices have consequences. Her selfish gamble failed, and now she was publicly paying the price. As days turned into weeks, and Seattle's rain-soaked streets became my new normal, my heart slowly healed. I built new routines, formed new friendships, and steadily rebuilt myself from the inside out. Without her in my orbit, my confidence soared and career flourished. For the first time, I realized my worth was never tied to Emma or any relationship. I was enough on my own. Then, one rainy afternoon, exactly 6 months after disappearing from her life, I received a message that froze me in place. Mark, please, I need to see you. Dylan wasn't who I thought he was. I made the biggest mistake of my life. I still love you. I'll fly to Seattle tomorrow if you just tell me where you are. I stared at the screen, heart racing, not with anticipation, but with calm certainty. Emma was finally ready to resume our relationship, but now, it was far too late. The moment Emma's message appeared on my screen, every painful memory came flooding back, but surprisingly, the anger I'd anticipated wasn't there. Instead, I felt an odd calmness. Her desperation wasn't a victory, just a sad reminder of how much she'd taken for granted. Ignoring the message, I went about my day, leading team meetings, finalizing project timelines, and mentoring junior staff. My colleagues admired my professionalism and reliability, unaware that beneath my composed exterior was a quiet personal revolution. The old Mark, who might have leaped at Emma's message, was long gone. That weekend, my phone lit up again, this time with messages from mutual friends. Emma flew to Seattle. She's asking everyone if they've seen you. Mark, she's desperate. She's at your old office crying. Everyone feels awkward. What should we do? I felt sympathy, but my choice was clear. Emma had once treated our relationship like a disposable commodity, assuming I'd remain patiently waiting. But her gamble had cost her dearly, and she was now discovering that some decisions have permanent consequences. Meanwhile, my life had genuinely flourished. My team's project launched successfully, leading to a prestigious company award and significant financial bonus. Soon after, I moved into a bright, modern condo overlooking Puget Sound. My weekends filled with hikes, exploring new restaurants, and laughing with friends who never knew the broken man I'd been months before. One evening, at a friend's dinner party, I met Jennifer, a confident, warm-hearted surgeon with an easy laugh. Our conversation flowed effortlessly, her stories fascinating and her questions genuinely curious. As we spoke, I realized I hadn't felt this comfortable with someone in years. At the night's end, we exchanged numbers, and I felt my heart cautiously awaken. Yet, Emma's shadow persisted. Mutual friends continued sending updates. She'd returned home devastated, openly admitting her mistake on social media, desperately apologizing publicly for her betrayal. Her posts attracted thousands of reactions, some supportive, but most harshly critical. As much as I tried to forget, my past lingered in unsettling ways. Then one evening, my phone rang from an unknown number. Before I could speak, Emma's voice came through, soft, fragile, desperate. Mark, please don't hang up. I know I have no right, but I need to say this. Dylan wasn't who I thought. I threw away everything good we had for a selfish fantasy. You're the only person who ever truly loved me, and losing you has shown me how blind I was. Please, give me one last chance. I paused, breathing steadily, choosing my words carefully. Emma, you chose your path, and I've chosen mine. I'm grateful you showed me who you truly were, because it taught me exactly who I needed to become. I'm sorry, but that chance ended the moment you decided I was disposable. Her quiet sobbing filled the silence as I calmly hung up the phone, feeling neither anger nor joy, only gentle closure. That night, standing on my balcony looking out at the city lights, I understood clearly for the first time, Emma's betrayal hadn't destroyed me, it freed me. Now, finally ready, I picked up my phone and texted Jennifer, "How about dinner Friday night?" Within seconds, her reply came through, warm and simple. "I'd love that." Smiling softly, I put down my phone, leaving the past exactly where it belonged, behind me. My first date with Jennifer marked a turning point. The restaurant was intimate, softly lit, and filled with the low hum of conversation. Across the table, Jennifer laughed easily at my jokes, her eyes sparkling with genuine warmth. Unlike Emma, whose attention had often wandered, Jennifer listened intently, fully present and interested in every word I spoke. Over the next few weeks, our relationship blossomed naturally, untouched by doubt or insecurity. Saturday mornings became hikes through lush forests, afternoons sipping coffee in cozy Seattle cafes, and evenings spent cooking dinners together at my condo overlooking the city. Jennifer was sincere and supportive, never hesitating to show me I was valued. Slowly, the pain from Emma's betrayal faded into a distant memory. Meanwhile, Emma's attempts to reach me gradually subsided, though mutual friends occasionally shared updates. She'd taken time off from her job, struggled financially after moving out of the expensive downtown apartment, and dealt with the aftermath of public criticism. Yet, despite everything, I felt no satisfaction at her misfortune, only quiet gratitude that I'd found strength enough to walk away. One evening, nearly a year after leaving my old life behind, Jennifer and I were attending an industry gala celebrating my company's recent success. As I stepped onto the stage to accept an innovation award, I briefly scanned the crowd, noticing familiar faces smiling proudly. Jennifer's bright eyes met mine, radiating happiness. In that moment, the pain from the past no longer defined me. I felt accomplished, respected, and genuinely loved. But just as I began speaking, I caught sight of someone standing near the back of the room, Emma. She was thinner, eyes tired, her expression uncertain. Seeing her unexpectedly caused my heart to quicken, but I quickly regained composure and completed my acceptance speech, calmly stepping off stage to applause. Afterward, Jennifer touched my arm gently. "You all right?" I smiled reassuringly. "Absolutely. Let me handle something quickly. I'll meet you outside." Walking calmly toward Emma, she seemed smaller, more fragile than I'd ever seen her. "Congratulations, Mark," she whispered softly, eyes glistening with tears. "You deserve all this and more. I didn't come here to disrupt your happiness. I just needed you to know I'm truly sorry. I ruined the best thing I ever had, and I regret it every day." I listened silently, feeling no bitterness or anger, only quiet compassion. "Thank you, Emma," I replied gently. "What happened between us taught me more than you'll ever know. I'm grateful for our time together, but even more grateful for our ending." She smiled sadly, nodded, and turned away, leaving me standing peacefully. No drama, no anger, just quiet acceptance. Outside, Jennifer was waiting, her smile instantly soothing my heart. "Everything okay?" she asked softly. "Better than ever," I said sincerely, taking her hand. We walked together into the cool Seattle night, my past firmly behind me, my future brighter than ever. 2 years after leaving Emma behind, my life had transformed completely. Jennifer and I married in a quiet ceremony overlooking Puget Sound, attended by our closest friends and family. As I stood exchanging vows with the woman who'd helped heal my heart, I finally understood what genuine partnership felt like: equal, honest, and unconditional. My career had soared beyond my expectations. Promotions and success had become my new normal. Financial freedom allowed us comfortable weekends exploring wineries, traveling to Europe, and making plans to start a family. I'd grown confident, fulfilled, and deeply happy in a way I'd never imagined possible when I first left my previous life behind. One afternoon, while visiting my old hometown for a family gathering, Jennifer suggested we stop at a local cafe. Walking inside, I paused in surprise as I recognized a familiar face behind the counter, Emma. She looked startled seeing me, but quickly composed herself. Her once radiant confidence had softened into a quiet humility. As she took our order, her voice trembled slightly, eyes downcast. She was polite, but the past clearly weighed heavily on her shoulders. After serving our coffee, Emma quietly handed me a folded note, whispering, "Please read it when you're alone." I nodded calmly, slipping it into my pocket. Later that evening, alone in our hotel room, I opened Emma's note. Mark, seeing you again made me realize just how much I lost. After you left, I finally understood the value of genuine love and loyalty. I lost everything good chasing a fantasy, and now, all I have left are regrets. You deserved so much better. I truly wish you happiness. Holding the note, I felt no lingering resentment, only gentle acknowledgement. Emma had indeed made mistakes, but she'd paid a price far greater than I'd wished upon her. Folding the note carefully, I slipped it away, a final token of closure. Returning home, Jennifer noticed my quiet mood and softly asked, "Are you okay?" "Yes," I replied truthfully, taking her hand and gently placing it against my heart. "I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be." Jennifer smiled knowingly, her warmth reminding me again why our life together was truly special. Months later, on a bright Sunday morning, Jennifer gently handed me a small gift-wrapped box. Curious, I opened it to find 2 tiny baby shoes. Heart racing, I looked up in disbelief, tears forming in my eyes. "You're going to be an amazing father," Jennifer whispered softly, eyes shining with love. Holding those tiny shoes, I realized every pain, every betrayal, every loss had led me exactly here, to genuine happiness, real love, and a life filled with purpose and joy. Emma's betrayal had once felt devastating, but it ultimately set me on a path I never dreamed possible. As Jennifer embraced me, I felt a deep, overwhelming sense of gratitude. Life, it seemed, had found its own perfect justice. Emma's choices had defined her story, just as mine defined mine. She taught me that true strength isn't vengeance or bitterness, it's simply moving forward. And in doing so, I'd found the happiness I deserved. At last, my past had truly become just that, my past. My future was brighter than ever, and as Jennifer held my hand tightly, smiling softly, I knew without doubt, I was finally, genuinely, completely free. The day my daughter was born, my entire world shifted again, but this time, it was pure joy. As I held her tiny hand for the first time, every struggle I'd endured, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt, faded away completely. All that mattered now was her future, Jennifer's warm smile beside me, and the beautiful family we'd built from the ashes of my past. We named her Grace, symbolizing the quiet strength it took to rebuild our lives. Friends and family gathered to celebrate with genuine warmth, each expressing happiness at how far I'd come since leaving Emma. My story had become a quiet inspiration among our circle, a testament that self-respect and courage could lead to true happiness. Life moved forward gently yet swiftly, filled with milestones, Grace's first steps, first words, family vacations, and weekend picnics. Emma, once the central figure of my story, gradually faded into a distant memory. Occasionally, mutual friends mentioned she was doing better, steady job, new city, slowly rebuilding. Each update brought me quiet comfort. I'd never wished pain upon her, all I ever wanted was peace. Then, unexpectedly, nearly 3 years after my departure, a handwritten letter arrived at our Seattle home. Jennifer handed it to me quietly one evening, her expression calm but curious. "I think you should read this," she said gently. Opening it slowly, I recognized Emma's handwriting instantly, the neat, familiar script bringing back flashes of our shared history. Taking a deep breath, I read her words carefully. "Dear Mark, I've thought deeply about what I wanted to say for a long time. Losing you taught me the hardest lesson of my life. Love should never be taken for granted. I destroyed what we had, not realizing its true worth until it was too late. I won't ask for forgiveness, just your understanding. Knowing you found genuine happiness brings me peace. You deserve every good thing life has given you. With sincere gratitude for everything you taught me, Emma." I folded the letter slowly, feeling calm and complete closure. Jennifer took my hand gently, sensing my quiet reflection. "Are you all right?" she asked softly. I smiled, genuinely at peace. "I've never been better. It's amazing how clearly we can see things once we truly let go." That night, as I tucked Grace into bed, her tiny voice whispered sleepily, "Daddy, tell me a story?" Smiling gently, I began softly. "Once upon a time, there was a man who learned that sometimes the hardest goodbyes lead us directly to our greatest joys." Jennifer watched from the doorway, her eyes shining warmly. Together, we turned pain into strength, heartbreak into genuine happiness. My story began with betrayal, but it ended in grace. Finally, I'd found peace. As Grace grew, our lives filled with laughter and warmth, the echoes of my past no longer held any power over me. Jennifer and I built traditions, Sunday brunches at our favorite cafe, annual camping trips beneath the stars, quiet nights watching movies together as Grace slept peacefully nearby. One evening, 5 years after I'd left Emma behind, I stood alone on our balcony, quietly reflecting on how much life had changed. My phone softly buzzed. A familiar name flashed on the screen. Luke. Hey, Mark. I just thought you'd want to know. Emma got married last weekend. She seemed genuinely happy. Thought you'd appreciate hearing it. Reading Luke's words, I smiled sincerely. I felt no jealousy, regret, or bitterness, just genuine happiness for her. Emma's betrayal had become a distant memory, overshadowed by the joy Jennifer and Grace brought to my life every day. Without her painful lesson, I would never have recognized the depth of what I now had. Jennifer approached quietly, leaning her head softly on my shoulder. Good news? She asked gently. I nodded calmly. Emma got married. Luke said she looked genuinely happy. Jennifer smiled warmly, squeezing my hand. That's good. Everyone deserves to find happiness eventually. Later that night, as I sat by Grace's bedside, she asked softly, Daddy, how do we know when something's meant for us? I paused, reflecting deeply before answering. Sometimes, sweetheart, life takes away something we think we need, to give us something better, something we truly deserve. She smiled sleepily, drifting into dreams. Standing slowly, I looked around our cozy home, filled with photos, memories, and the warmth of genuine love. Everything I had now was exactly where I was meant to be. Years earlier, I'd faced betrayal that nearly broke me, but instead of destroying my faith, it taught me how powerful forgiveness and resilience could be. I'd grown stronger, wiser, and more compassionate, qualities I now shared freely with my family and friends. As I lay beside Jennifer that night, quietly holding her hand, I whispered softly, Thank you. For what? She asked gently, half asleep. For showing me what real love is. For helping me believe in second chances. She squeezed my hand tenderly, drifting into sleep, a peaceful smile on her lips. In that quiet moment, I knew my journey had finally come full circle. My story began with Emma's betrayal, but it ended in gratitude, happiness, and peace. And for that, I would always be grateful.